Let's just jump right in. Real Housewives of Potomac, season 10, episode 2. We jump right in. We're kind of at the end of this crescendo between Ashley and Stacey, and they're at the second Bloom ball, and they're arguing back and forth. They don't really come to a resolve. Ashley essentially storms off, says that Stacey's a liar. And Stacey's friend interjects and say, "What do you need from her? Like, you guys are supposed to be friends. What do you need from her?" And that guy, he looked like somebody. I know him. I don't know where I know him from, but he has that type of face that I feel like I know him. So anyway, neither here nor there. He was basically like, "What do you need from her to get to a resolve?" And she was like, "I just don't do liars. I do people who have agency about themselves and are honest." Anyway, Ashley, Darby, yeah. So she has this high standard for her friends, and she doesn't do liars. And so, when Stacey's essentially like, "Okay, well, we're not gonna resolve it here," and that's just basically the end of that. The next scene is Stacey meeting with Wendy in that big house. Oh my God, it was so hard to watch. Oh my God, Wendy girl. But everybody keeps saying that in my comments. We were rooting for you. Like, it was just so hard to watch, like, on these scenes. I was like, I hope they're not showing anything, And I noticed, I don't know if you guys noticed, well, I felt like a lot of Wendy was, like, dwindled down to, like, background cast this episode as well. So I don't know if that was already how the episode was edited, or if that's just something that, happened post-edit via the consequences and the revelations of what we know now. Neither here nor there. Basically, Stacey does come off as a bit of a liar. And it's again, her lies are like white lies, literally, like they're so harmless, but they are still kind of shady and annoying. So she basically is explaining to Wendy that she's like very technical, she should have been a lawyer. She's basically saying the idea was being fleshed out, like she had discussions of it, of potentially creating a cannabis line, but it wasn't created. So that's why she said in the reunion, "I don't have a cannabis line," and she wasn't lying about that because she didn't have a cannabis line. But she eventually, in March, fleshed out the idea of her cannabis line and does now have a cannabis line. And she was just revealing this to Stacey, to Wendy, and Wendy was like, "Girl, child, semantics. We know what it is," because my friend already said you tried to come to him and tell Giselle that you were doing this. So we already was on to you with that. So kind of was not a good look for Stacey. But if you really watch Stacey, you get it. She's very down to the minute. You have to really catch her in her lie. Oh, Ashley's little sister looks just like the mom, and I was cracking up because she said she was going to the White House to see the big orange man that's in there. So that was very telling. And then I also, it's not passed over me that the two, not saying they don't deserve it or didn't deserve it, but I noticed that the two women who met with Corinne Jean Pierre in the Joe Biden administration is now being under federal investigations during the same time coinciding with Letitia James' case. So it's kind of like this setup to say, look, all black women, even when they're in these fancy roles, they're all DEI, they all don't belong here, they all don't deserve it. So, and then for Ashley to be going to the White House under this administration is very telling about Ashley, but also very telling about how Bravo plays into the politics of current policy and how they're trying to sway and lean the audience. But anyway, I saw that to say Ashley's little sister had me cracking up because she made it a point to say that Josh, the boy Ashley's dating, is a young buck. And I noticed that too. I was like, oh, he does look like a baby, but whatever. Somebody robbed her cradle. So I guess she don't feel like it's nothing wrong with robbing a cradle, honey. Karen's birthday, I'm a Karen girl through and through. I never switched up, just like I said about Wendy. Oh, my picker's off. But anyway, no, they're not. Good people do bad things too sometimes. So everybody make mistakes. So yeah, Karen basically is her birthday, and this year the women celebrated her friend Cookie. The Cookie, having a friend like Cookie makes so much sense because Karen is so sassy and so this and this, and like all that big personality. It makes sense that she would have a big personality friend like a Cookie. I was very happy and pleased to see Cookie because I never noticed her in the background. I never knew about her. I don't follow them really outside of like even this, I'm just doing this because you guys wanted me to review it, but I don't really follow them in that way. So I love Cookie. I love her little shady comments and them long nails. She's exactly who she thinks she is. But yeah, they mentioned Karen and how she's doing. They said they call Karen Miss Karen in jail. They said that she has big respects. Everybody loves her and likes her, and she's been exercising, getting the body tea, face tea, all of that tea. So it should be really interesting to see her. And they said she may be coming out soon, which we know she did come out soon. Oh, there was also mention of Chris Samuels and Monique Samuels, so she'll be making an appearance really quick because apparently Stacey's trying to get her man, at least according to Auntie Cookie. You know, Karen's little messy friend that is filling in her shoes. So, yeah, we'll see how that goes. But it seemed like Auntie Cookie wanted Chris for herself because she was like, oh, guess who texted me, honey? She was shocked that he wanted Stacey. It was fun because I feel like we did get a chance to meet the two new housewives. We met Angel and we met Tia officially, like in their homes and like, you know, their first real like scenes out, because the first little brief introduction was at Ashley's second bloom. So this was like a proper introduction, and both of their homes looked really beautiful and both of their lifestyles looks really, you know, enticing. So that was a really nice introduction to them. As far as Tia, I love she has two girls and two older girls and then a set of twins, so 4 children in total. She was like this princess of Nigeria, and then she married a boy who was like from the south side of Chicago, and they fell in love, and they're kind of yin to each other's yang, and it was really cute to see her introduction. So no judgment there at all. So far so good. I like her. In terms of Angel, she's already had a little chin check according to Giselle, because her friend Kierna, again doing things that I didn't expect Kierna to do, kind of turned on her a little bit and was upset because she defended Wendy about this NAACP event, which I think Kierna, if that's the only issue you have with Wendy, you need to let it go. I'm sure she's feeling vindicated right now with what's going on with Wendy, but I don't think that if that's the issue you have with Wendy, it's a big enough issue to make a mountain out of a molehill. So it was kind of annoying, and I think the friend Angel was trying to let her know, like, let it go. Like, it's not that deep. She has kids. You got to give people grace. And, like, Kiana got offended, and then she reported back to Giselle, and she learned a lesson because Giselle embarrassed her in front of the whole group at Angel's event and basically said, oh, Angel, Kiana said she chin checked you, girl. And she's like, you chin check me, you my best friend, how you chin check me? And she's like, I didn't really chin check, we don't do that, we're friends. And she was mad and pissy and in the corner the whole rest of the event because she tried to shine on her best friend. And she forgets that she's talking to the devil herself, Giselle, who is not new to this. She true to this, and that's how she hazes all the girls. But she was covered last year by Karen, so she didn't get hazed as much, even though she did get the little thing. But she wasn't hazed by the general public of the girls, like the Giselles and the Ashleys. But her time has come. Overall, Angel's event was beautiful, though. It was well organized. It was really cute. Just a nice little, literally some tea and some sound baths, and all the girls had a kiki over it. And I thought it was a cute and a nice scene. The only part of the thing that I did not like was the mint controversy, where she just suggested, they said, can we eat? She said, yeah, you guys can eat. I have food. Da, da, da. There's a bowl of, somebody said, oh, who's the bowl of mints for? She said, oh, just have a bowl of mints. And they all like start giggling over Stacey's breath, and Stacey's not in the room yet. So it's kind of very backstabbing, very mean girl. So when Stacey walks in and addressed the breath, she's feeling really awkward. And it gets even more awkward because like they're just like laughing at her face, and she's like, okay, well, if the biggest issue in the room is my breath, let me just take the mint. Like, it's not that deep. She always is very classy. And again, they start targeting her about her divorce. She shows a divorce decree, which all the girls just accept, even Ashley, but Giselle says, this is fraud, I have a divorce. And it doesn't matter. And she said, I don't care anymore. I'm exhausted from it. Which means she's not. She just has to go dig up more dirt on it. So we'll see how that pans out for Stacey and Giselle. And hopefully Ashley will also learn to stop doing Giselle's bidding. Overall, I feel like Stacey's learning quick. The other girls have to get with it, get more equipped. And I just feel like, you know, Giselle and Ashley are doing what they typically do, being who they typically are in their messy selves. overall, the episode was a little bit of a decline from the first episode. So the first one, I think I gave it an 8.59. I would give this one a 7.58. So it was just okay for me. But if you guys enjoyed today's recap, please don't forget to hit the follow button above on TikTok. And if you're following here on YouTube, please don't forget to hit the like, comment, and subscribe. It's your girl, Nico Nicole, and this has been Give This Girl a Mic. I'll see you guys next week on another one. Bye.